All right, thanks so much, Mike. Well, an upcoming forum is hoping to educate the Magnolia State on their mission to promote economic literacy. And here to tell us all about the event is Brooks Mosley and Selena Swatzfager. Thank you both for joining us on Midday this afternoon. Pleasure to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thanks
a
for
pleasure
having
to
us.
be here. Thank you.
All right, so first question, talk to folks at home who are watching about the Mississippi Council on Economic Education.
We're an organization that's been in Mississippi for 11 years with the mission to train teachers, kindergarten through 12th grade, provide professional development for them so that they can properly teach our children about economics, personal finance, and entrepreneurship.
Okay, and so is this like nonprofit, absolutely free for educators?
It is a nonprofit organization. We're funded primarily by Mississippi Business, the Department of Education, and IHL, as well as individual sponsors, but the teachers attend all of our workshops at no cost.
Okay, and Brooks, can you tell folks at home how they can get involved if they're interested in becoming a part, learning more about the organization?
Well, one of the things that we did as a company, we were trying to look for an organization of support that would benefit the entire state of Mississippi, the citizens. And what the Mississippi Council on Economic Education does, as Selena said, it trains our kids to just basic personal finance, you know, balancing a checkbook, credit and debit card, you know, compound interest, things that you think they would come out of high school knowing, but many students do not.
You have to learn the hard way sometimes.
And so we made a decision. We really got behind, Matt Ballew at our office helped us get behind the Mississippi Council on Economic Education several years ago, and I would encourage every business owner in this state to consider doing something for the Mississippi Council on Economic Education, because it's whatever these kids, when these kids come out of school and they know this information, it makes them better citizens and better employees.
What's the age group for the kids? What age do you start at? How long? How young do you? Oh wow.
Yes, we started kindergartners.
Kindergartners.
It's really amazing. You'd be surprised at what they can absorb and learn, starting with their little piggy banks. You know, of course, ultimately, we want those kindergartners to be knowledgeable 12th graders that are graduating from high school and going to college.
Okay, so the kindergartners, they're not balancing their checkbooks yet.
No, not yet.
Probably some really smart ones.
They're making decisions on where to spend their money.
Okay, and so I guess just for the folks at home that are watching, why would you encourage them again to get involved, learn more about this organization and how they can benefit?
Well, ultimately, as Brooks said, children who are literate in economics and personal finance become productive members of our society. They're working, they're giving back, they're managing their finances properly. So that's what we ultimately want, are adults that can be productive members of society.
All right, do you all have any upcoming events taking place in the near future?
We do. We have our Thad Cochran Forum on American Enterprise. It's on September 26th here at the Convention Center downtown, and we'd love for everybody to participate, come by a chair to a table or a ticket and come hear more about the Mississippi Council on Economic Education.
All right, so go ahead.
I was just going to say, and as you mentioned, we actually have a comedian economust that will be with us this year. So that will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that person.
You know, normally when you say economics, you know, the person's face is not so excited. But this person will teach about economics, but do it in a humorous way. So you'll learn how economics can actually be fun.
All right. And speaking of fun, I know I took like an econ class in high school, and unfortunately, I hate to say this to you all, but it was dreadful. But had I learned earlier, you know, how to put things into perspective, then it probably could have been a lot better.
And had your teacher been trained by us, the class would not have been dreadful, because we have great, wonderful lesson plans for teachers to use.
Yeah, I just remember the charts. I can't even remember what they're called right now.
Supply and demand. Yes.
Yeah, but maybe the stand-up comedian, he could have helped me.
Yes.
They still do that, but we were talking about even the more basic stuff, you know, that, again, balancing that checkbook, credit, debit card, not having credit card debt, things like that.
Saving instead of spending.
Yes, because there are only two things you can do with money.
Save it and spend it.
Save it and spend it. That's it.
And speaking of that, what would you all advise? I know most people say try to save at least 10% and, you know, use the rest for...
Well, you actually need about 3 to 6 months of your salary in an emergency cash savings fund, and believe it or not, if you start early, you can start off in that 10 to 12% range, but if you're in your 30s and you're just now starting saving money, you're going to need to save substantially more than that number because you got a little catch up. And that gets back to what we're trying to teach these kids in school. Compound interest really works. And if you start early, you can be so far ahead of the game than from your peer group at age 35 and say a lot of folks that don't start till they're 35 or 40.
Okay, so you said 3 to 6 months, like a
3 to 6 months
quote-unquote
emergency cash savings, you just go to the bank, pull it out, no strings attached.
So that's separate from like a 401k?
That
That's
is
just
separate from
money
a
that's
401k.
liquid and available in
You
your
just
bank
want to have
account?
that available to you if the roof gets hail damage, as we have recently here. And,
Absolutely.
or, you know, you have an automobile accident and you need to pay to get your car fixed, things like that.
All right, well, always a good time, I should say, to get some good financial advice, so appreciate having you all
Thank
here.
you so
Thank you for having
much.
Nice to
Thank
meet you.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, absolutely. And the information is right there on your screen regarding the Mississippi Council on Economic Education on Thursday, September the 26th at 11:30 a.m. This event's taking place at the Jackson Convention Complex. For more information, 601-974-1325. Addresses on the web are also on your screen. Make sure you stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.